the President of the Council of Leyte of the Philippines, Ed. Alam niyo, ako'y tuntua na nandito sa campus ng Adamson University, one of the most beautiful campuses in the Philippines. And of course, so replete with history itong mga buildings na ito. Here, which used to be St. Teresa, if I'm not mistaken, and on the other side, the old Adamson, plus the beautiful church, San Marcelino, an old part of Manila. I used to work very close to this place when I was Postmaster General of the Philippines. Medyo malapit-lapit dito. Kaya tuwan-tuwa ako na maimbitahan para magsalita sa inyo. Baka meron iba sa inyo nagulat na ako'y naka-purple. Supposedly the color of the other side, but that is not so. I've been wearing this color since 1992, almost 20 years. And the reason I adopted this color as my political color is because of the religious implication. I think we are all aware that violet, for hundreds of years, probably 2,000 years, is the color of Advent, which is the onset of Christmas, and the color of Lent, both very deep and very strong religious seasons of the world of Christianity, the world of Catholics. At the same time, one very closely affiliated group, the Knights of Columbus, yung isa sa mga ranking members ng Knights of Columbus, wears violet. Again, another religious manifestation. And more so, it is the color of the Supreme Court, it is the color of the IBP, it is the color of Carriage, Purple Heart, which is closely connected with where I come from, and so many other symbolisms that are deeply religious. Kaya wag po tayong pumayag na i-co-opt nila itong kulay natin na isa sa mga mahalagang kulay ng simbahan. Wag po tayong po. Sila bago pa lamang dito sa mundong ito. Tayo 2,000 taon na dito sa mundong ito. Sila po ay bago lamang. Yan ang dapat na ipaalala natin sa kanila. I was asked to give a briefing and a situationer on the Republic, on the RH bill, Reproductive Health Bill. And I'd like to do this very quickly. House Bill number 96. Right now, it is in the period of interpellation. Kasi ang bill, as most of you are very well aware of, merong committee level. Pagkatapos ng committee, it goes to plenary. And in plenary, there is the period of sponsorship when the principal authors, as well as the one in charge of the committee, will deliver sponsorship speeches. And then it will be the period of debate and interpellation when those who are either curious or who are opposing would pose a lot of questions. There are roughly about 50 members of the House of Representatives who have manifested their desire to interpellate. And one interpellation may last 1 hour, maybe more, depending on the situation. And so far, not more than 10 have completed their interpellation. If there will be no forcible suppression of debate, and I would like to emphasize forcible suppression of debate, if there will be free debate, it will take maybe about 2 years to complete the interpellation by about 50 members of the House of Representatives. Kaya kung hindi puwersa nito, matatagalan ho ito at baka hindi na umabot ng period of amendment, and more so the plenary vote on the bill. At the same time, I would like to also report to you that the author, Congressman Lagman, has already refused to be interpellated by one of the most eloquent interpellators in the House, a leading constitutionalist, Congressman Pabling Garcia. Mukhang hindi niya kaya ang lakas ng kaalaman ni Congressman Garcia. Kaya he refused to be interpellated further after being caught in so many difficult situations during the period of interpellation. He also has refused to be interpellated by this representation. I think he was aware that I had some bombshells in my interpellation. For example, I wanted to pose a very direct question to him, and only he could really answer this. And this is why he deceived the Filipino people by issuing a press statement announcing that his House bill was House Bill number 3, when in fact it is House Bill number 96. And you know, the reason why some people would like to have a low-numbered House bill is siyempre para ibig sabihin, nauna siya. When in fact, hindi siya nauna. Nauna ang House Bill number 13, which is my House bill on the protection of the unborn. But for some reason, I cannot understand, and he refused to answer this, why he issued a press statement, and this press statement was carried by media, why he said that his House bill, RH bill, was House Bill number 3, when in fact it is House Bill number 96. Some people might say, hindi mas siguro importante yan. Importante po, sapagkat yung mas mababa, yung author ng mas mababang House bill, ang siyang lalabas na principal author. And you know, legislation is to a lot of extent authorship. Parang kung ikaw daw na, ikaw dapat ang author. And of course, even in the chain of events that would normally be associated with the process of legislation, siyempre, yung mas mababang House bill number ang siyang dapat na mauna. Kaya hindi po niya masagot yan, and I think that was one of the reasons why he refused to be interpellated by me. Of course, the other issues would be the facts that I was going to present with respect to maternal mortality, with respect to demography, with respect to the economy. He had a sample of that. During the period of interpellation in the last Congress, ako po ang isa sa pinakamahabang nag-interpellate nung last Congress, at natapos ang interpellation, ako pa rin ang nag-i-interpellate. Now, doon naman of course, ayaw niya makipagdebate sa akin, ayaw niya makipagdebate kay Congressman Pabling Garcia, pero nakipagdebate siya kay Congressman Pacquiao.